Hello. Good evening, little people, big people, everybody with big dreams. I'm Missing. I'm from the Shaler North Hills Library. This evening, before we drift off the dream, thought we could learn a little bit about Vincent Van Gogh. And he was an artist, and this is from a series called Getting to Know the World's Greatest Artists. It's been around a really long time. It's one of my favorite series, especially if you get to look at it up close, because it has great cartoony pictures. And this is from 1988, so it's like well ahead of its time, because now you see graphic novels and stuff everywhere, but I love this series. And he's done quite a few, Mike Venezia. But anyway, this is Getting to Know the World's Greatest Artists, and this one is Vincent Van Gogh. Vincent Van Gogh was one of the most tragic artists who ever lived. Nothing ever seemed to go right for him, and he wasn't very happy. He never even smiled in his self-portraits. Van Gogh was born in Holland in 1853 and died in France in 1890. Unlike most artists, Van Gogh didn't decide to become a painter until he was grown up. He tried a lot of other things first. An art dealer. You call that a good painting? My 5-year-old cousin could do better. This isn't making me happy.
Well, let's draw a picture of Mr. Van Gogh here. Yeah, with one eyeball.
This isn't making me happy, being a teacher. Bookseller.
Oh, no, give me that book over there. Didn't you hear me?
This definitely isn't making me happy. How about a preacher? I think I'll be an artist. That might make me happy. He worked in an art gallery selling paintings, he tried teaching, he worked in a bookstore, and he was a preacher like his dad. None of these things made him very happy. So one day, he did decide to become an artist. Van Gogh always tried his best at whatever he did, so he went to different art schools to learn everything he could about drawing and painting. His early drawings were of the poor people he used to help when he was a preacher. There are certain things you can see in these drawings that show up later in his famous paintings, such as strong lines and shapes. You can see the feelings that he had for everyday people. Van Gogh's first paintings were also of the poor people he had been helping. In this painting, the family was so poor that they had only a few potatoes to eat for dinner. They looked tired and not very happy. And that one is actually called The Potato Eaters. The colors in Van Gogh's early paintings are dark and sad. He wanted everyone to know how hard the lives of the poor people were. That's Women in the Peat. Van Gogh kept using his dark colors until he discovered some very colorful Japanese artwork. He loved the bright colors and strong lines and the shapes that he saw. Whoa, I wonder what this bright stuff is. It's called yellow, blue, red, and orange. Soon Van Gogh's paintings started to look much more colorful. Look at the difference between the gloomy potato eaters and the painting above, which was done only a few years later. And this is Farmhouse in Provence. And this one, again, is the Potato Eaters. So you can see he was really putting a lot more light and color into his work. We know a lot about how Van Gogh felt and why he did certain things, because he was always writing letters to his younger brother, Theo. Theo always helped his brother. He encouraged him to paint, and he sent him money when he could. Who's that from, dear? It's a letter from Vincent. He says he's sick, nobody likes him, his room doesn't have any heat, his back is killing him, and I should send him money as soon as possible. Sounds like he's doing much better. Because Van Gogh was always sending letters and receiving letters, he got to know his postman pretty well. He painted pictures of him and used the postman's wife as a model for many of his paintings as well. In 1886, Vincent moved to Paris, France to join Theo. Paris was at the center of the art world then. Since Theo was in the business of buying and selling paintings, and Vincent wanted to be an artist, it seemed like a pretty good place to be. Theo introduced Vincent to a lot of painters when they lived in Paris. "Vincent, I'd like you to meet Toulouse-Lautrec, Emile Bernard, Camille Pissarro, Georges Seurat, Paul Signon, and Paul Gauguin." "Gee, Theo, I was hoping to meet somebody famous today." Hardly anyone knew it then, but many of those painters would become world-famous artists someday. A couple years later, Vincent Van Gogh decided to leave Paris and move to a small country town called Arles. Van Gogh thought Arles would be a great place for artists to get together, to paint, and to talk about their different ideas. He tried very hard to get as many artists as he could to join him. The only one to try it out was Paul Gauguin, even though he wasn't really crazy about the idea. It turned out to be a big mistake. "Your cooking is terrible. Your paintings are terrible. I'm a better artist than you are. I wish I never came here. Worst of all, you never pick anything up. This place is a mess." "You're such a grouch, Paul." Gauguin didn't seem to like anything about Van Gogh in Arles. They argued a lot. Van Gogh probably decided to listen to Gauguin about cleaning the place up, because his bedroom looks pretty neat in this painting. Finally, after a very bad argument, Gauguin decided to leave Van Gogh and return to Paris. Van Gogh didn't know what to do. He really wanted things to work out with Gauguin. Van Gogh had always had problems during his life with the way he felt. Sometimes he would get so angry and upset that no one could make him feel better. This time he became so angry and upset that he cut off part of his ear. Van Gogh painted pictures of himself after this happened. It looks like he wished he hadn't done it. Van Gogh and Gauguin. Van Gogh never really got better after Gauguin left him. Sometimes he was too angry to paint, and sometimes he was too sad to paint. And when he felt good, he painted better than ever. He made the stars in the starry night seem like they're really shining. And the trees in this painting look like flames, and it feels like the whole picture is moving. In this painting, Van Gogh made the sun look really hot. You almost feel like you should put sunglasses on to look at it. Van Gogh usually put his paint on very thick. Sometimes he painted so fast that he didn't even mix colors. He used paint right out of the tube. Van Gogh used to paint so much he was always running out. Sometimes he stopped buying food in order to buy more paint, so he was hungry a lot of the time, and he wasn't healthy. "I'd like to order some lemon yellow, pea green, cherry red, and I'll have orange paint for dessert." Hardly anyone was interested in Van Gogh's work while he was still alive. He sold only a few drawings and maybe one or two paintings. People in the 1880s and 1890s just weren't used to the bright, moving pictures that Van Gogh made. Today things are different. People have learned how beautiful Vincent Van Gogh's art is. His paintings are now some of the most popular in the world. Van Gogh, you finally sold a painting! Maybe I have a future in this after all." This, right here, "Wheat Field with Crows," may have been Van Gogh's last painting. Some people think it shows how angry and upset he must have been feeling, because he painted a scary sky, roads that led to a dark background, and crows that look like bats. Soon after this painting was finished, Van Gogh shot himself, and he died 2 days later. Van Gogh made his paintings seem alive with color. His colors are so bright and beautiful, you can almost smell the flowers he painted or feel the bright sun. And his brush strokes give everything a feeling of movement. Trees, stars, and people feel alive. Maybe more than any other artist, Van Gogh's feelings came out in his paintings. That is why Vincent Van Gogh is one of the world's greatest artists. It's much better to see a real Vincent Van Gogh painting than a picture of one. It's fun to see how thick he put the paint on his brush and how his brush strokes are and how bright his colors are. The pictures from this book came from museums listed below, and I'll put links on the website to this too. if none of them are close to you, maybe you can visit one when you are on vacation. Some of his paintings are in the Art Institute of Chicago, the Coulter Hall Institute Galleries in London, the Met in New York, the Minneapolis Institute of Arts, the Museum of Modern Art in New York, the National Gallery of Art in D.C., the State Museum in the Netherlands, the Vincent Van Gogh Foundation in Amsterdam, and Yale University. I wish I knew, and I will put this in the post, but I do not know if the Carnegie here in Pittsburgh has a Van Gogh. I don't know. First I was like, oh yeah, but then I remembered that was Monet. So sorry about that. Anyway, so I will put some links where you can take a closer look at Vincent Van Gogh's paintings. I hope that you like this story. Hopefully more of the Little People, Big Dreamer books will be back too. There should be a couple coming through Amazon tomorrow, so have one for tomorrow night, hopefully. But until then, I hope that you sleep very well. And I thank you for a wonderful day. It was a crazy day here at the library. If you go to Scott Primary, you might know Miss Rebecca and I got sorted into our hats. If you have been, I guess if you've just been living, you know that it's the first day of National Asparagus Month. And I hope that you know how wonderful you are. And so please kiss your beautiful brains. Kiss your loving hearts. And look in that mirror. And you're a wonderful work of art. Say, hey, good looking, because you're all good looking, just the way you are. Thank you.